What is up, you beautiful engineers, and welcome to episode number 6, I believe. You guys are watching the mighty drill in action. We fired up at the end of the last one. You guys are watching a 19-hour time lapse, and it's not even done. It's been performing okay. I did have some issue in the first night, but it did fix itself on its own. It was in the middle of the night, so anyway, I wasn't there to fix it, but everything is fine. If you don't know what this is, I recommend to go watch the previous episode. We do explain the whole concept, but the short version is we are mining a massive hole to build the headquarters in it. Also, one more thing, I am leaving for a week for work. My job does require me to travel a lot, so the next episode may be delayed a little bit, but you guys will get it as soon as it's ready. I'm not quitting, I'm just working. I'm having too much fun with the series. So anyway, you guys enjoy. In the last episode, I was trying to think about like how much stone I would get out of this, and I said between 20 and 30 large cargo. I was way off. I was way off. In the first like 30%, I got the 32 large cargo that I need for my deep storage project, and I even got 8 ice, so we may do even a deep storage for hydrogen maybe. And this morning I came down here, it was at 19, it was at this height, 19 block deep, and honestly it felt good at 19, but I decided to, you know, do a few more block. Right now we are like 21 block deep. My initial idea was 25, but 21 feels almost a little bit too deep. It feels like the wall are kind of falling on me. I think once we remove like the facade, the front, we square up the corners, it's gonna feel a lot more open. I'm betting on that because right now it feels a little too deep. But right now the mighty drill is locked on this height, and it's just doing a few spins just to stuff the ground a little bit more because it's, you know, it's not good. But I also don't think we will get something better than this. All right, so stage 1 is pretty much done. I could probably stop it now. Now, stage 2 is gonna be to dig in the wall a little bit. We wanna go maybe like 3-4 blocks down from the surface, and then a good 6-7. I don't want to go too deep, just, you know, just to help us a little bit build inside the voxel. So maybe a good 6-7 blocks inside, and then all the way down to this level. And I think the easiest way to build this jig is actually going to be on those arms. Probably not on both sides, maybe just one side. I think I'm going to attach up there, bring it down, have some piston with some drills, and just, you know, extend it. Stage 2 is now complete, and it looks beautiful. It looks so weird to have like this disc kind of hanging around the edge. Pretty cool, pretty cool. So now stage number 3 is gonna be to remove these corners here. So we have to go straight from here in a straight line all the way up to this corner here on both sides, and this will also reveal the beautiful view that we're gonna get from the headquarters. Nice. Oh, come on, man. Fuck. Look at this view. Look at this view. Come on now. All right, so stage number 3 is done, and I'm happy. It definitely feels a lot more open. Now, we'll have an issue with the ground. This is not flat at all, and I really don't feel like filling up the whole thing with light armor, because it kind of breaks my whole vision for the space. I want voxel, and luckily for us, I do have a mod for that. It is the terrain tool mod, so we can add voxel. This is gonna be a very long job if I do so. It does use soilstone mix, which is made out of gravel. Luckily we have a lot of stone, so it won't be an issue, but it's gonna be a really grindy job. Luckily we do have a bunch of settings. Some of those will help us to let me show you a little bit here. I think it's not Control B. No. All right, so you press T to align it with the planet, and then I think you do Control T, align lock towards the center of the planet. You do Control B to lock it, and we want it lock on X and Y. There we go. All right, so now it's locked at this height. So this should allow me to just spam click all across and get everything. Ideally, we would have the ground a little bit lower than our grid, around this height. Now I just want to see the front here. It's a little bit different over here. Yeah, over here we would be, yeah. I would have to remove, I could remove some of the ground. I could scrape it with the magner. Oh my god. All right, I think I found a solution for this. I was already kind of planning on having a path kind of sticking out all the way across the front. You cannot have something on a cliff like this and not have something like sticking out, right? So I would grab the foundation of this platform and just bring it inside a little bit, all the way up to here, if it's not further down. Yeah, so that could be the solution for the edge here. And it would also be logic, right? It would also make sense. Now, obviously, I also plan on building some stuff in the middle, like some pads and parking spot and whatnot. But my little brain cannot plan too much ahead because I do change my mind a lot. I usually just wing it and go with the flow. Because if I plan something, I always feel like I limit myself, specifically on a big project like this. So I'd rather do the whole inner circle with the new soil, and then I know I'm free to do whatever I want. I'm not stuck going one way, right? Make sense? I hope it does. All right, change of plan. Before we start working on the soil, I think what I'm gonna do is get rid of the mighty drill. I think it's time. I'm gonna put some grinder on Oswald, and I gotta get rid of this. This thing is sketchy. It scares me a little bit. What I want to do is I I want to take this ring here, which is our 81 block radius that we follow all the way along, and I want to bring it down to this level here and do another one down here, so I know what do I need to fill with the soil. Can we get a moment of silence for the mighty drill, his last spin? You know what's fucked up? Is I'm about to leave for a week for a pretty chill job. Usually my job is really, it's physical, it's intense, it's long hours, but next week it's gonna be pretty chill. Like, I'm gonna have a lot of spare time, so this would have been a really good job to do in my hotel room. Alright, engineers, it is done. Oh, and we are in a storm. Let me get back there. That's kind of cool, though. Huh. That's kind of genius, actually. It is done, and it's far from being perfect. And before anyone comments about voxel hen, I know it exists. It's just a little bit too cheaty for me, specifically when I have a mod that does it. Now, I do have some high spot and some low spot, and I did fuck it up, and I'll give you guys a little tip here if you want to do something similar. So when I started, I was aligned with the planet center, okay? Which is not good because the planet is not flat, it's a circle. So when I started at the front here, at the middle, I had a good full block difference between left side to the right. It's not good. And then I figured out that if you press R is to cycle through the align mode. If you look at a grid, you will align to that grid, right? And then you want to press B to cycle through the snap mode. In my case, what I did, which was the mistake for the high spot and low spot, is I disabled the snap mode and I just eyeball it every time, because every time you log off and log back on, you'll have to do this process again. So every time I was kind of eyeball it, and I guess I was blind when I did this section, because yeah, it's far from being good. And then once you find, so I do recommend to use altitude, because it's really easy to remember exactly where you are. And then once you find your happy place, which I guess I could have used this height here, you press Ctrl B to lock it. So now I am locked, right? So now I could just go around and left click at this height. Huh? How cool is that? So that is my tip and trick for that. But now I want to do some building. I'm tired of digging and placing voxel. It is time to do some building, and I think we are still in a storm. I think I want to tackle the front here. So I'm gonna wait for the storm to pass. I'm gonna grab some components, and then we will be back to work on the front there. All right, I am ready to start working on the dock here, but before I want to talk about upscaling, okay? Which is the concept when you work on stuff that are that large, you need to upscale everything. You need to upscale your detail, right? So your 1x1 beams now needs to be 2x2. Otherwise, from far away, it's not clear that it's a beam. Let's say we have a landing pad here made out of concrete. It cannot be just 1 block thick. Now it needs to be 4 or 5 block thick and have support, because it's so big. You need to upscale everything for it to make sense and to be seen from far away. All right, so now that we are on the same page in terms of the upscaling, my plan for the pad is to have a section coming out the front here. I think this is a god spot for a large grid ship that eventually we'll have. That's going to make transport between here to space. So I'm going to make a large, thick pad coming out. I'm just not sure if do I raise it or do I leave it at this level. I think I'm going to leave it at this level, because I may leave the voxel on the ground here for this section. Decision. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna make the pad in the middle here, and then on both sides we're gonna have other stuff. It's not gonna be symmetrical. I think having some smaller pad with like some fighter ship at some point. On that side, I may do like a crane of some sort. It's not gonna be functional or super detailed. It's gonna be something to be seen from far away. And you clearly know what it is from far away, but not necessarily super detailed. Like some stage work, right? We're gonna do some Disneyland magic, right? All right, let's cue the time lapse. guys just want a good 40 hours plus of footage, just time lapse back to back to back to back. And I'm not done with what I wanted to do in this episode, but I have to end it. It's Saturday night, super late. I have to publish the video tomorrow, and after that I'm leaving for a week. So yeah, and I just want to say one more thing too, which is kind of funny, but I started this whole series because I had a craving for creativity. It's like an addiction, and you guys are feeding my addiction. The support lately has been popping off. It's been crazy, and I love it. Thank you very much for all the support, and have a good week, and I'll see you guys pretty soon. Bye bye.